We were being gaslit when it came to women's bodies.
The 2000s owe us women an apology.
I thought I was straight for the majority of my life. I had anorexia. I nearly lost my life.
In her defense,
It's a process, okay? Hello, my bold, beautiful, too confident to be humble, confidence of progress, or just stepping into it, babes. This is the Confidence Hour, brought to you by 49, hosted by me, your girl, Ms. Dani DMC, professional hype woman, confidence connoisseur, and your forever safe space. This week, I'm sitting down with a true OG in my eyes, a confidence queen, activist, writer, and one of the pioneers of the body positive movement. You might know her from her viral content, her bold honesty online, and her first book, Body Positive Power, or her brand new book, We Don't Make Ourselves Smaller Here. Please welcome the Megan Jayne Crabbe. Megan, welcome to the Confidence Hour.
Applause? Wow. Okay.
Yes, you deserve it.
I'll get used to that, yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm really happy to have you.
I'm very happy to be here.
A really exciting episode.
Yay.
First off, let's have a little vibe check, okay? This is something I used to do in some of my OG content. Scale of 1 to 10, what is your confidence today?
I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
8.5 maybe.
Yeah. Oh, okay. 8.5. I love that. One of my favorite things about you, I told you this earlier, is that I always connect you with color. Like you've always just like, to me, your content, everything I've seen from you, your personality is colorful. You always have colorful hair. You always wear color. And so I feel like your outfit today is just giving that. It's
dopamine dressing, babe. You got to do it. It's a real hack.
Dopamine dressing. I love that. I will say dressing definitely gives me a dopamine rush. Like that's why I love fashion so much. It's like when I put a fit together that makes me feel like, oh yeah, like I'm that girl, there's no better feeling.
It changes the whole game.
It's so true. Okay, so you and I share a lot of similarities. And from managing the world's opinions on our bodies from a very young age, we love that. We don't love that. Please stop. To being unapologetically confident public figures, we both navigated public platforms built on confidence, softness, and showing up as our authentic selves.
Yes.
But we also come from different backgrounds. I'm from the US and you're from the UK.
Yeah, baby.
So let's start there. What is your experience with confidence in this country?
That's really interesting because I think that, the British way generally is to be quite self-deprecating. Overly polite, quite quiet. And when you add patriarchal expectations of womanhood and girlhood on top of that, it's doubled.
Yes.
So I don't think growing up there were really any examples of confident women. And if they were, it was just comedic.
Yeah.
It was a joke. Like if you dared to be actually confident in yourself,
It had to be comedy.
you're going to be laughed at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Britishness definitely adds another layer and makes people more uncomfortable when you break out of it.
100%.
That's my opinion.
I could see that. Yeah, no, I could see that. So I definitely feel like initially upon coming here, it seems to me that British women specifically are taught to be more quiet, self-deprecating. I think self-deprecating is like a British thing in general across the board.
Sure, we're so good at it.
Yes. I've had a lot of discussions with men here, male friends, women, about body count, which isn't something that's really discussed as much in the US anymore. I can't even tell you the last time a guy asked me my body count, or even like my ex and I, we never talked about body count. Like it didn't matter to me. It didn't matter to him.
So do you think that's more like the archaic standards of respectability?
Yes.
And
I think in the UK it's like you want to be kind of prim and proper and have yourself put together, and maybe there's still a little like, obviously we're all in the patriarchy, but that like housewife, like I want to be a wife and like be this respectable woman and have it all together for you. And with that comes being skinny and having all of these things that have been set for us by society. Even people say to me like, oh my God, you're so American here. Certain things I'll do, certain things I say, the way I act sometimes, or like even when I'm with my girlfriends, if we see some cute guys, I'm like, oh, let's go talk to them. And they're like, what? No. And I'm like, okay.
I've always felt like Americans they put it out there. Like you get what you see, and we are much better at putting on an act, of performing, basically.
As two women that are often labeled by the world and have been like since the beginning of time, when it comes to our career, I feel like people continue to try and label us. How do you prefer to be referred to? How do you prefer to be referred to? Is that right? Is that correct grammar?
I tend to triple barrel and go content creator, writer, presenter.
Love that.
It covers lots of bases.
Yes. So tell me your experience with the term body positivity and how you feel about it now, how you've once felt about it. Walk me through that a bit.
for me, I fully claimed it.
Yeah.
You know, my username was literally Body Posy Panda for a long time.
I mean, I was a fan for a long time. Yeah.
It was all body positivity all the time. But it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a thing when I came into it. You know, 10 years ago, I was using social media the way most, 20-something-year-old women use it. It was fashion, it was celebrities, it was diet content. And then accidentally, I stumbled across people talking about body positivity.
Yeah.
And it changed everything for me.
Yeah.
Changed my entire mindset. And all I wanted to do was share what I was learning.
Yeah.
It was pure diary, oversharing.
Yes.
Here's my trauma, here are my thoughts and feelings.
Yes. Which I miss that type of content. We can't have that. There's too much hate. There's too much judgment. No grace these days. No empathy.
Correct. And yeah, it was
good days.
It was so healing.
It was, yeah.
And at the start, it was a genuine community.
Yes.
Like I could have counted up maybe 50 people who were talking about body positivity and fat acceptance and diet culture.
Yeah.
We all knew each other.
Yeah.
We set each other little challenges.
Yep. Supported each other, always commented. Even that's how I met some of my friends over here from the UK that are in this space. Is like in 2017, we'd all comment on each other's posts and support each other.
Yes, because there wasn't as much competition.
Yes. And it wasn't oversaturated, the way it is now. There's so many creators, which is a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
But it's also, you can't connect the way you used to be able to.
Not the same. So yeah, I mean, body positivity became the thing that I was the most interested in, the thing that I talked about the most. And I became known for. And yeah, it's definitely brought a hell of a lot of challenges to be known for that and to have, all the expectations of what people think that you should then cover and how you should say things and whether you should say things and if you're this or that and the other.
Yeah.
And, for years and years and years, people would just analyze my body on the internet every day, even though I was making content that was saying, hey, you're more than a body. You don't have to obsess over your body. You don't have to shrink yourself. You don't have to make yourself smaller.
But because they put you in this box, they have the right.
Every
because it's not just
day.
your body anymore, it's their body.
Right. Let's point out, oh, you look like you've gained or lost or changed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just living.
Yes.
And this actually isn't the message. What I'm saying is
can you hear me?
Yeah.
What is a time you felt most confident in your career? Like a time that has just made you feel like this is it. I feel so connected with what I'm doing and who I am. And like, this is a moment that really embodies that.
It was definitely when I went on tour with my best friend. So we created like a variety show. It was called the Never Say Diet Club. And we just got this opportunity and someone said, hey, if you had 2 hours on a stage, what would you do? And we were like, okay, we're singing, dancing, rapping, we're doing parodies, comedy, speaking. It was wild, like costume changes, glitter.
Wait, I'm so upset that I didn't live in the UK during this.
It was the best. And getting to do it with my best friend was something else. That was just being there. I do love being on stage. I was like a drama baby growing up.
Oh, I feel that. That's me in front of the camera. Like, I just love it.
The validation. Yes, very nice.
Validation.
But also and doing something meaningful.
Yes.
For doing it for, the right reasons and spreading that message in that way. And also I feel like, I don't know if you feel this, but as someone who has been so chronically online for so long, whenever you get to do something that is actually in person and brings humans together, that's a different level of satisfaction.
Because I feel like you and I are the same, and that's why we started. We started to connect with people, to heal ourselves, to grow and evolve, but also to allow our story to help other people.
Yes.
And somewhere along the way, it just felt like, we're growing these communities, growing. But I started to feel like disconnection. Like there's so many people. You get these hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. And okay, Instagram and these brands are telling you, yay, it's great. But some days you miss having 10K where you could, really DM every single person that DMs you back and really have face-to-face time with these people.
I feel like what I value now is so different because I am not impressed by, someone has a lot of followers or like they've gone viral a lot. If you are doing like grassroots community, bringing people together work, that is so fucking cool.
100%.
I'm so impressed by that.
Yeah.
That is the work.
Yes.
And what we do, can lead to good things for sure and can lead to people feeling very validated, being seen. That's great.
100%.
But that is the surface.
Yes. Now, when we talk about highs for you, okay, we also cannot forget
Oh yeah, that
The new baby. Okay. So this is your new book, came out in June.
Yes.
I have a signed copy. Don't be jealous, okay? It's custom. But we don't make ourselves smaller here. Phenomenal book. And I want you to tell me some of the highlights about it. And then I want to tell you how it's impacted me, because it has.
Bless you. I mean, look, I think I didn't necessarily write this book for anyone else. I think that the most powerful writing actually comes when you're not picturing, oh, someone's going to read this.
Yeah.
When you are genuinely just healing through writing, and then maybe it becomes like something cohesive that other people can consume.
Yes.
But for me, this was the book that I had to write. And I wrote the last one like 8 years ago. And, you know, afterwards, everyone's like, when's book number 2? What are you going to do next? And I was like, I have nothing to give you. Leave me alone. And then I had to take some time, live some life.
Yeah.
Do a lot of work, a hell of a lot of therapy and reflection and growth until I had something else to say. And, you know, in this book, I really wanted to go beyond the body, because the body is what I'm known for.
Yes.
Book 1 was all about the body. And I realized somewhere down the line, oh, the body was just the start for me. You know, I could feel absolutely fine about how I look, not have a insecurity at all here, but then still feel so filled with shame or so wrong or so like I was shrinking myself in other areas, whether that was in my relationships or like how I was showing up sexually or how I was identifying myself or treating myself. So I really went on that exploration of, okay, what comes after the body? Where are we going to heal now? And that took years. And I wrote this over a really long time. And you know, it was real time. I'm going through this, I'm writing about it, and now here it is.
You can tell it's a labor of love. You can tell it was a struggle to write in a really beautiful, like I said, raw way, where it brought up a lot for me. So obviously your first book touched more specifically on the body, diet culture, what you experienced with, you know, your own personal journey and within your body. And I love that this book also touches on that. It's not like you completely left it out, because it is a part of you. It's a part of your story. But then you went into a lot of other layers with a lot more depth. And I really appreciated that, because I think we're always, if you are in a bigger body, of course it's about your body. That's all it can really be about, right? God forbid it's about something else. And I think I had kind of a different story, and I didn't realize this till later. I was never an insecure girl. I didn't struggle with insecurity as a kid. I got brutally bullied, but I remember thinking to myself, like, why are my bullies bullying me for being fat? It didn't make sense to me. I wasn't one of those kids that was like, oh yeah, it makes sense. And so when I look back on my childhood, because of trauma, there's a lot of things I forget, but reading the beginning specifically of your book, where you talk about diet culture, your struggle with eating disorders and things like that, I reflected and I was like, you know, I'm so grateful that I never, you know, experienced having an eating disorder or didn't struggle with certain things that you struggle with. And like, as I was reading, some of these memories started coming back to me that I literally did not remember. In America, there was this thing called Sensa. I had to Google it this morning. I forgot about it. It's crazy. It was like this salt that you put, or like a seasoning that you put on your food that suppresses your appetite. So it makes you eat less. And it was funny, I had a good household in terms of like not really being fat shamed much or like diet fads, things like that. But it was my friend's mom that would use it on her food. And she was like, oh, you should use it too. She was a bigger woman. She was like, you should use it. I was like, okay. So I went home and asked my mom like if I could get it. And I had to beg my mom, because she was like, what is this? So I was putting this salt, like the seasoning, all over my food. And I did Weight Watchers. I completely forgot about that until at a young age, until I read your book. And then also I was convinced to go to Overeaters Anonymous.
Oh, wow.
Which is like, I don't even, do you guys have that here?
Yeah,
it's like
it's
AA,
not as big
but
of a thing, but yeah, it does exist.
Yes, when I was like a teen. And none of these things, of course, helped me or were sustainable in any shape or form. But I just think that it's so important to have stories like this, where it's like your book made me feel safe for my mind to like open up and go to this place that I hadn't been in a really long time.
So when you think back and you remember yourself as being like confident and not body, do you think that was real, or is that?
I do. I always say it's like my unequivocal duty to be doing what I'm doing, because I think this was put in me for a bigger reason. But that doesn't mean that external forces stop trying to shove their way in, whether it was my friend's mom saying, hey, use this salt, or another friend saying, oh, you should go to Overeaters Anonymous because the only reason you could be big is because you're, binging and eating all this food. It was all external.
Yeah.
I'm just really grateful for you. I think that and I know this book is going to touch so many people because it's a powerful work of art. It really
appreciate
is.
that very much.
And
that's all I wanted. Like, I didn't want to come out and be like, this is how you become your biggest self. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
It's not that.
Yeah.
It is just come with me. Like, literally let me take your hand and let's just come and visit some of the places we've been taught to make ourselves small.
That's one of the things you talked about in your book. I remember you brought up Bridget Jones as well. And you talked about kind of this, conception of, what women looked like, what we thought they looked like, what we were fed.
We were being gaslit.
No, we were being
on
gaslit.
an international level when it came to women's bodies.
Yeah.
Like the representations that we had of women who were supposedly outside the beauty standard and plus size, they were never above a UK size 12.
Yeah.
Bridget
ever.
Jones is not fat. America Ferrera was never fat.
Yeah.
And yet we were given this narrative of like, this is your representation.
Yes. And we never saw curvy bodies, plus size bodies. And we never saw them be like, they were always the funny fat friend. They were never like the it girl or the one that got the guy. We never saw sex scenes with curvy or plus size women ever.
And we had to have a glow up.
Yes. Had to have a glow
Ugly
up.
Betty had to take her glasses off at the end.
100%. Yeah, I hate that. Let Ugly Betty keep the glasses on. Glasses are fly. Look at my friend right now.
And she was always gorgeous.
Yes.
She was always gorgeous.
Like, you don't need the glow up. The 2000s owe us women an apology because, especially millennials, we went through a lot. All the images that we had to see that we were fed.
It was toxic on another level.
No,
it was
literally.
diet culture to the max.
Yes.
Like the amount of women's magazines with red circles of shame.
Yeah.
Or photoshopped celebrities beyond recognition.
Zoomed in.
All of the TV shows.
Yes.
Do you remember Super Size versus Super Skinny?
Yes.
Or like The Biggest Loser?
Biggest Loser. I used to watch Biggest Loser.
Me too. And we had no idea how toxic it was what we were consuming or what it was teaching us.
It's so true. And I feel like we do, we're so harsh on social media and it's easy to say there's so many toxic things about social media, and there are, but there's also so much representation on social media that we were never fed as kids.
Right.
There is a better part of growing up now in terms of seeing so much.
Oh, for real. We never had that representation.
Yeah.
I mean, I genuinely thought growing up that I was going to turn into a thin white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes. Girl, I'm Jamaican. It was never going to happen.
It wasn't in the cards.
But because that is all I had, the dolls I played with, the shows that I watched, the magazine, that was all we saw. So if you can't see it, you can't be it.
Yeah. And you even talk about in your book too about how Barbie was like, if Barbie was blown up into like a real life-size doll, that she would be like anorexic and
She
like
wouldn't
not
be
able to
stand.
walk. Yeah.
Literally. And
that's what we grew up with. Mm-hmm. That was our childhood.
And yet we wonder why we have body image issues.
Yeah.
Why so many women feel the way that we do about our
Yes.
bodies. We were fed this. We were taught this. It was intentional.
100%. And it was taught to men and our partners as well. So it's like everyone needs to be de-brainwashed. Their brains need to be rewired. And we need to come up with our own narrative.
Also, I feel like, because at the moment there is such like a flashback going on to 90s noughties culture.
Yeah.
And people are even saying things like, ooh, I'm 90s skinny. No, babe.
No.
We need to dissect
That's not
this.
cute.
Because that shit hurt us.
Yeah.
And it did so much damage. We need to cut that right now. We are not going backwards. We are only
Yes.
going forwards.
I love being a full-figured curvy woman. That's all I've ever known. And to me, it's beautiful. I'm Italian. I come from that. I come from big, full-bodied women.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it's powerful. It's astonishing to people that you'd actually want to be that you're okay with that. And it's like, hello, we are humans. We're all different types of people. Let us be free.
For real. And like teaching all women that they have to look exactly the same as one another is as nonsensical as like teaching all dogs that they all have to look like golden retrievers.
Yes.
Like, babe, Dobermans are real.
Yeah.
They exist. There is
a
diversity.
Mastiff. I love a chow chow.
We love them all. All shapes and sizes.
Yes. I want to talk a little bit about dating. I think it's really important to talk about our experience as women, as bigger women. I know that you're in a happy, healthy relationship now, which I have seen. But talk me through that. Talk me pre being with your girlfriend now and kind of what life is like now as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought I was straight for the majority of my life.
Yeah.
I never.
It's all in here.
I never imagined that I would end up being happily with a woman. That just wasn't a possibility to me, because, you know, we exist within a very heteronormative culture.
Yeah.
And when you're a little girl, obviously it's always the prince that's going to come and save you. And when you watch the rom-coms, it's always the guy who's going to come and make your life perfect. And, you know, Section 28 was still being enforced when I was growing up, which meant that it was literally illegal for schools.
You said that in the book. Yeah.
For schools to say anything positive about being gay. It was not mentioned. So I think within that culture, it just didn't even dawn on me that I could explore that. You know, I'd always thought that, you know, women and girls are beautiful.
Yeah.
And then when I was in my extreme diet culture phase, it was always like, put their posters all up on the wall. Like, I want to be them. I want to be them. I want to be them. And I never peeled a layer back to be like, oh, is there like an attraction going on here?
Do I want to be with them? That's what you said in the book. You're like, I want to be her. I want to be her. But did I want to be with her too?
If you just look a little closer, there are clues. And, you know, I had experiences when I was a teenager. You know, you'd go out on nights out and you'd like kiss your girlfriends. But it was always because there was a guy there. Yeah. It was always just to be like,
make him hot and bothered.
Exactly. And I pushed that down. And then I was in a really long monogamous relationship with a guy. I was with him for 8 years.
Okay. So similar to me.
Yeah. For like 18 to 26.
Oh, wow.
So that was very formative.
Yeah.
And he was not a bad guy, but it was not a good relationship. I was raising him. I was doing everything. I was very small, you know, and I stayed because, you know, sometimes we fall in love with potential and we cling on to it. And I'm very understanding and I'm very like, let's give them another chance. Yeah. Let's give time. Let's give grace. Not necessarily always to myself, but to someone else, and especially like a man that I'm dating. It's very like, okay, you know, there's potential. There's so much potential. And ending that relationship, one of the hardest things I have ever done. One of my greatest acts of self-love. Because, and I'm sure you can relate, could not imagine a future where he wasn't there. He was so ingrained in your life. Yes. So intertwined in every way. And breaking away from that, it's brutal. Yeah. It is brutal and it tests you in every way. And it was undoubtedly the right decision. Yeah. And I could not have become who I am now if I had not been brave enough to do that.
Everything you just said, from the I was raising him to the I stayed, literally every word that just came out of your mouth is my story. Like, and it's hard. And I think how you said too, like, we're fed this story of like, well, if you're with someone so long, of course you're supposed to marry them and have babies with them and create this life with them. And as women, we were taught for so long, you make it work. His mom even said to me at one point, like I told her I was kind of crying to her, saying things were really tough. And she was like, well, you figure it out. You'll figure it out. Because that's what, especially women in our generation before us, and even before that, it's you stay. Yeah. No matter what. And I think that, like you said, is the biggest act of self-love. To make one of the scariest, hardest decisions, but you know deep down that it's the right decision. And I'm so proud of us. Look at us. We're doing great. Sorry, my hands are freezing.
Me too.
Okay, so now talk to me about how you then experienced your sexuality, came into now meeting your girlfriend, who is gorgeous, by the way.
She's also a ridiculously good person. It's almost not fair. Like, you shouldn't get to be
that?
both.
Like, pick one.
Yeah, be really good looking or
but
be
also,
a good
like,
person.
look at us.
Yeah,
like,
it's true. So I ended that relationship, and that's when I opened myself up to, okay, maybe I can experience attraction to more than just cis men. And I kind of, opened up my dating profiles, started to explore a little bit. And it took quite a few years. And also at the time, I felt a lot of pressure to share publicly. Because at that point I was sharing everything about my life, basically, and I shared the breakup. And when it came to exploring my sexuality, I was like, oh, I don't think I'm ready to be the voice of bisexuality or pansexuality or
whatever
am I lesbian? Or what am I? What? And I didn't
again with the labels.
Exactly. I didn't have it and I didn't know how to navigate that. And so I kept it quite private for quite a while and just did my dating and did my exploring. When I met my girlfriend, I was newly single and quite determined to not be in a relationship again, because I wanted to have my single time, and I just fell in love with her immediately.
Isn't that crazy how it happens?
Yeah. I I recognized her. Like she came into my life and I was like, I
for someone
know
to
you.
say that to me,
Yeah.
that would break me in the best way possible.
It was wild. Like I would look at her hand and be like, why do I know your hand? It's so familiar to me, as if she had just always been there. And all of my like childhood memories suddenly felt like, yeah, you should have been there.
That's mad.
It's some gay shit, let me tell you.
I want to be gay.
I do highly recommend.
Now, let me ask you this, because when I heard you talking about your ex, I think one of the reasons I stayed for so long is my ex was a conventionally attractive man that had only dated skinny women before me. And I always was like the fat girl growing up, the fat white girl, especially because most of my friends were black. And I was the girl that was hidden. You would do things with behind closed doors, but you never would take out in public.
Right.
To now have this man publicly love me and be able to show this not only in real everyday life, but online meant so much to me that like, hey, the fat girl can win too, and be with this super attractive guy and whatever.
Oh yeah, that's so real.
Yeah.
That's so real. I think especially because that first relationship of mine, that was when I came into the world of body positivity. So he'd kind of seen me at like many different sizes along the way. And he'd been with me when I was, chasing that goal weight and that ideal body. That's kind of how he met me. So then, a lot of people would say the phrase, she let herself go whilst I was with him. And therefore, I think on some level, I felt indebted to him. Like he's stayed with me. What a trooper.
What a gem. What a just absolute gent.
Yes. And
Give him an award. Somebody make him a trophy.
So yeah, there was definitely a level of, oh God, if I'm going to go back into the dating scene, especially, like it's changed. It's not what it used to be when I became single again. Like I had never even used a dating app. It was wild. It was literally like
same. No, same for me.
Kid in a
Because
candy
of when
shop.
I was like 21 when I got with my ex. I'm 32 now. Dating apps weren't a thing when we got together.
No, and the landscape is so, so different. And I also feel like the beauty standard landscape is so, so different.
Yeah.
And I think about that now and I think, if God forbid I was going to be single again now, would I go back to performing femininity in order to be desirable?
When I first got out of my relationship, I was like, okay, I need to get more like feminine clothes.
Right.
I literally went through this whole like, for date nights, I need to get some outfits for date nights. Like I want to tap into my femininity. Also, I've never been bald, single. I was like, is that like, I never even thought about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would be like guys would hit on me and they'd be like, oh, but you're gay though, right? And I'm like, why? Because I have a shaved head?
Right.
Like, but then I quickly shut that shit down.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Because again, I have this internal like, girl, you know who you are. Go on that date with your baggy jeans on. Okay, let's be so for real. Also, you have a bald head. Do you know how much confidence and aura and swag that emits like out into the
And
world?
that's attractive.
Yeah, and I get so much, especially in the UK. Again, I feel like guys here are not used to women being as confident and bold and outspoken. And you'd think that they wouldn't be attracted to it. Most of them are. That's the thing, is like men, they've been brainwashed just like we have. So men believe what they're taught just like we do.
Yes.
And so if they're taught a woman should be quiet and she should be tame and she should only have sex with one man before you, maximum, or like all these things, right, that they're taught, they believe them too. And sometimes it takes someone to pop their bubble and be like, hello, wake up. And I'm the pin. Yeah, I'll pop it. Okay. But kind of on that same topic, one thing that you've completely dismantled and you've been really persistent about dismantling is the beauty myth of body hair, which I love. Iconic. So why has that been such a big deal? And, how has it affected you? How silly people can be? I mean, comments, all the craziness.
So I think like most of us who were raised as girls, I was taught to shave as soon as hair started to appear. And, I did. I stole my dad's razor, shaved my legs, blood everywhere, that classic tale that we all go through. And I just didn't stop shaving for like decades after that. And even when I went through body positivity, even when I healed my relationship with food and my size, I allowed myself to gain weight, I still would not allow myself to grow my body hair because that was unthinkable, it was unspeakable because of course that's disgusting. Of course that's unhygienic and unfeminine. And also if I'm still dating guys, which I was at the time, so undesirable. There's
the brainwash.
So many negative opinions come from men when it comes to body hair. So I just couldn't even consider it. And It was in the lockdown, actually. So I was in a relationship, but we weren't really seeing each other. And I really had a chance to sit with myself and sit with the choices that I was making about my body. Because obviously, what choices are you making when you don't have to go out into the world and perform femininity or desirability?
Yeah.
Those choices are probably actually you. And I realized, okay, I no longer want to get rid of this part of myself for other people's approval or to avoid other people's judgment. And it was challenging because people do have opinions. I went through a period actually of dyeing my underarm hair.
That was my favorite
bright pink.
period.
Yeah,
that was
I loved it.
my
I loved
favorite
it.
period.
But it only lasted like a day because like sweat and showers and because I had pink hair and I had bright pink underarms. And I remember I did a red carpet. It was for The Little Mermaid, and I had this gorgeous green sequin gown, and I had my bright pink armpits, and I got up on the carpet like in front of the gay photographers, and I was like, And someone took a video of it happening, and you can literally see in the background women like turning away in disgust, like turning to their friend and being like, in the background of this video. And this is only like a couple of years ago. This is still the level of judgment that we are at, simply for a woman embracing being a mammal and something that her body literally naturally does. How is it the default to get rid of something that your body naturally does? And, you know, if you look back throughout history, obviously this is based in capitalism.
Yeah.
Obviously it's based in, you know, razor companies realizing how much money can be made from convincing women that body hair is disgusting.
100%.
And there's also an element of racism in it too, because for a long time, you know, body hair was considered ethnic. And for white women, it was so important to, you know, create space between yourself and those people of color. And body hair was, you know, one of the ways that they did that to be the ultimate beauty standard of a white woman and most acceptable within patriarchy. So yeah, when I added all that together, I was like, nah, fuck this.
Amen.
I'm not doing this anymore, and it will be uncomfortable sometimes, and people will make faces and stare and comment and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I am so done molding myself to other people's standards.
It's not about the hair on your legs. It's the choice as a woman to do what you want with your body and to not have to adapt or to change to fit anyone's mold. And I think you are celebrating that in such a tangible, visible way that it is impacting people. And we need to make people uncomfortable. I'll be the girl that you turn and make a face at. Go for it.
Yes.
Because maybe later that night when you're all alone in your bathroom, you stop for a second, you think, why do I shave my armpits every single time hair grows? If you spark that idea, that's enough. It's not enough, but it's the beginning.
It's the start. Yeah.
It's the start. I want you to tell everyone and tell me more in depth about kind of your lowest points and when you felt like your confidence was really at an all-time low.
Oh my gosh, there's been so many points. And I think it's always kind of cyclical as well. You know, that there isn't this, you've reached the Mount Olympus of confidence.
I always
and then
say
you're
confidence
good.
is not a linear journey.
Oh,
it's not from
absolutely
point
not.
A to point D to point B.
Or D, yeah.
Or D.
There's so many. So, you know, I could tell you a point where my confidence was low 6 months ago or 2 years ago or 5 years. You know, there are so many points to choose from. I think my confidence was maybe the lowest when the world would have perceived me as being probably the most successful. So after my first book came out, when I was doing so well on socials, when I was body panda and getting all these opportunities and seeming like, wow, she's doing the thing, she's on top of the world, I was in pieces. I was crumbled. I was scared of my phone. Like, I didn't want to look at my phone every day because it felt like every single comment was a potential chip further at my self-esteem, because I didn't have that solid self-love in myself, and I was getting validation from external success, from the internet, from strangers. It's wild, the disparity between what it was perceived to be and how I actually felt in myself.
Yeah.
And that didn't really shift until I took that step away from being so online, stopped being body panda, became Megan, and actually started doing that internal work.
So talk me through that shift of where you kind of took a step back. What made you decide to take that step back? And then that kind of transition into literally, it's funny because you went from body posi panda to becoming yourself.
I realized that I couldn't do it anymore. You know, the way that I was going about social media was so unsustainable. You know, my screen time was outrageous. I was in a constant state of comparison. What's everyone else doing? Got to post every single day at the same time. It's pressure, pressure, pressure. And I just snapped. I just could not do it. And I started reading all of these like books and watching all these documentaries about the impact that social media has on us mentally, what it does to our brains and why we're so addicted to it. And I was like, oh, wow, I have not been existing in the real world. I have just been truly living online. And I took a break. I took the first break that I had ever taken in my career away. For like a month, I just didn't open the app and took that time. And then I knew if I was going to go back, I could not go back to how I had been. I had to go back as my whole self. And I had to be okay with people potentially not liking that. Because, you know, when you are this one thing for so long, people have you in that box, as you know, and they do have opinions when you are no longer in that box and when you know, are multifaceted and your whole self. And I had to brace myself for that. And it was really fucking hard. And I'm glad that I did that now, obviously. But yeah, it was all rebuilding from there.
Well, kudos to you, because a lot of people can't do that. You know, they step away and then they stay away for a long time.
And I don't blame them.
Yeah, me neither. Let's make that very clear. Me neither. There's been many times and some more recent times where I almost was close, but not too close, because again, my purpose just always pushes me. But I mean, the internet can really suck the soul out of you. It really
does.
can.
And it's such an interesting one to discuss with someone else who's also in it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, obviously it is a hugely fucking privileged way to live. Like, let's not get it
100%.
twisted.
Yeah.
There are wild and wonderful magical things that we get to do that, you know, a lot of people don't get to do.
Yes.
However, as you said, it can also steal your soul in such an inhuman way to exist.
Yeah.
And it is lonely.
It is.
And nobody should have to deal with the opinions of that many people on a daily basis. That's literally not what our brains are wired for.
Yeah.
You know, we're meant to exist in our small communities and maybe know the business of like 20 people.
Yes.
And then
our villages, our tribes from the beginning of time. Yeah.
And suddenly now 100,000 people telling you what they think.
Yeah.
What they think about you as a person.
Yeah.
Take it, suck it up. You asked for this. It's the job.
No, I don't want it. I also feel like there's a difference between being a role model and a mascot. And that like really rings true with me, because I think that for women and creators like us, we have to a certain degree signed up to be role models because of the avenue that we've chosen and how we push our content. And I'm okay with that. I do not want to be a mascot. And I think, again, that kind of is what drove me away from body positivity and kind of being aligned with this one sector, because I'm not going to be the mascot you want. I'm not going to be this perfect fat person that I'm supposed to be. So how do you feel about that? Like, can you relate to that sentiment?
Oh, massively. And, you know, there have been times in my life where I've literally stopped myself from doing things because I've thought, what's going to deviate too much from, you know, the brand. We start thinking of ourselves as brands instead of human beings who are capable of change. Even something silly, like for so long I was like, oh, I can't go back to having brown hair. You know, I had rainbow hair for like 10 years. I can't go back to my natural hair. It's too far off, you know, what people expect. And then I obviously did it and it was fine and the world didn't end and it was just hair.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's so many little reclaimings. I think now I don't feel like a mascot for anything in the way that you're describing, which is definitely freeing. That's not to say I don't like feel pressure
of course.
Still sometimes. But yeah, no, I'm not going to be perfect and I'm not going to comment on every single thing that the internet wants me to, and I'm not always going to have a fully formed opinion, and that's okay. You know, and sometimes I'm going to be wrong about stuff. That is also okay.
I think because of cancel culture, because of so many things that have happened on the internet, it's so hard to have a real life experience of realizing that people are always going to make mistakes. I always say that, like, I'm going to make mistakes. I've made mistakes since the beginning of time. I'm an Aries. That's what we do best. But we need to give people that grace and that ability to like make mistakes and to grow and to learn. And it makes me sad, the lack of empathy. I really try for myself to give that empathy out. And I think that's why I always say, over body positivity, I believe in body autonomy. Whatever feels good to your body, whatever you want to do to or with your body, you should do. And I'm not going to judge you, just like I ask you not to judge me. And we should all just be more accepting human beings, because we're all living this for the first time. I haven't done this before. Have you? I mean, we might have been here in the past. I'm not going to lie.
I kind of feel like I have. I think
that wouldn't surprise me. I feel like you have been here before.
I've been here. That you make a really interesting point. And I think a lot of issues come from people confusing body positivity and bodily autonomy. They are not one and the same.
Yeah.
And I think so often when we, idolize people and we put them on a pedestal of, you are the body positive icon, I'm thinking of a very famous singer in my head right now.
Yeah.
And then they do something that, goes against the lessons of body positivity, and they seem to, betray the cause or the message. First of all, did they ask for that label in the first place? Not sure. Yes, they still have their right to do whatever they want to do with their own body. I do understand why people get upset.
I do too.
Why they feel betrayed, and you're allowed to feel a certain way.
For sure.
But what you are not allowed to do is to project onto that person, tell them what they should do with their body.
Another thing we haven't really talked about a lot that I think is really important and really impactful part of your book and your story is your struggle with eating disorders and kind of how that impacted your life. And I know a lot of people can relate to that. And unfortunately, I feel like we're kind of shifting back to that in the air, especially in America where we are right now. So how did this shape your approach to body acceptance?
I think I got quite a lot of flack within the body positive community because I came from a journey of, I had anorexia when I was a teenager. I nearly lost my life. And then I recovered and my body didn't look like the beauty standard. However, I have never experienced extreme fat phobia. I have never existed in a significantly larger body. I've always been that kind of what we now call mid-size.
Mid-size, yeah.
And, with that, huge privileges, and also coming from where I've come from, still internally, huge challenges.
Yeah.
So I think for me, my mission has always been about dismantling diet culture, really getting to the root of why we are taught as women to hate our bodies so much. Why is this so normalized? How much money is being made from this? Can we break this down at the root?
Yes.
And it's always been not just for bodies like mine. I have shouted from the rooftop so many times. It's not my body. It is if you are bigger than me, if you are disabled, if you have darker skin than me, if you are, genderqueer, this is for all of us. And this movement has always meant to be for all of us, particularly those of us who have been on the margins and have been excluded.
100%. My thing that people have heard me say since the beginning of time is I'm here for othered people. Anyone that's been othered by society. Even if I don't look like you, I'm still a representation of you by the hate and discrimination I've faced. We all experience different levels of hate and discrimination. Now, I have a lot of privilege being a white, straight woman, all the things. But I think it's so important that we realize our similarities and we realize that we all need to come together. So if I'm sitting here like, oh, you're mid-size, you're not like me, that does nothing for anyone.
Well, if I'm being completely honest, I think that a major part of why we are back where we are now and why, skinny talk and thin is back in and all of that.
Is skinny talk a thing?
Yeah, massive thing. Is because
that's not on my For You page.
Good for you. Keep it that way. But it's because
stay off my page.
The body positive community was so fractured because we had so much infighting, so much policing of each other. Yeah. You can't say that. You're not enough. You're too much. Not going that far. Going too, it was endless. And so we were not a united movement with actual goals. We were all just, going around policing each other and trying to be this little perfect thing online.
I had someone say that to me, early on in my career, a mentor of mine, you don't need to separate people and say, oh, this is just for plus size people. The whole point is to make everyone feel included because you didn't feel included. I think a lot of people lost that. in the body positivity movement.
I
This
think
can be for everyone. Yeah.
Two things can be true.
Yeah.
Like, and that's something the internet's so bad at respecting, that two things can be true at the same time. Like, so you can have the spaces that are just for this people, and you can also have spaces that are for everyone, and that's okay.
It's so true. But now we can have a little fun.
Okay.
I want to do a little quick fire. First question is, what is your self-love language?
My love language is acts of service. Is it the same to myself?
I know, isn't it I love this question.
Well, so the nicest thing I can do for myself is let myself rest. What's that?
Yeah, so I would say either acts of service or quality time.
Yes, probably quality time.
Mine's quality time.
Just by
like
myself.
that alone. Yes, that alone time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, shaved or unshaved? What's your vibe right now?
Unshaved.
Yeah, period.
Always.
Okay, I'm really excited to hear this one. What color makes you feel boldest?
Orange.
Yeah.
It's such a happy,
that
come
resonates.
on.
Yeah. I thought you were either going to say orange, pink, or yellow.
Yeah, so sometimes
Those are the colors I like associate with you, and you have them all on today. I love that. Okay, what's your go-to piece in your wardrobe when you need a confidence boost?
probably a suit or like a waistcoat suit, like when I want to feel bossy, you know?
I love that. I love that. What is one of your guilty pleasures?
Glee.
Wait, first off, I feel like that makes so much sense for you. Like, that does not surprise me. I used to love Glee.
I was a proper Glee. I went to the concert. It was
Girl, you're next level. I didn't even know they had a concert.
I'm watching it with my girlfriend for the first time right now, and she's like, how did this show exist?
What, is it like problematic?
So
Because I watched it like when it came out, so you never have the mindset.
It's still so good, but it's
so bad. Like every show that we grew up
Yeah.
on. Those shows would not live now. Which leads me to my next question. What show are you loving to watch right now? A comfort go-to?
Oh, Superstore.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a sitcom. It's got America Ferrera. It's based in a
love America
supermarket.
Ferrera.
I just have it on in the background of my life always. It's so comforting.
Okay, I need to watch that.
it. Yeah.
I love that. Also, quick side note, sorry for the tangent, but I loved how in your book you talked about America Ferrera, and I remember Real Women Have Curves was like one of my movies when I was younger, but you brought up the fact that like she was not this, like in my mind, she was the biggest person I'd seen on TV.
Right.
And it's just fascinating that
so
she
distorted.
like was probably like a US 12 maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Even like, did you used to watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
No, but I know it.
Yeah, and like there were two aunts, Hilda and Zelda.
Oh, yes.
And in my head as a child, Hilda was like plus size.
Yeah.
She was like big and like chaos. And I've rewatched it. She's like maybe a size 12 UK.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
how
great. Yeah,
did-
that's mad. That's mad. What song gets you hyped and feeling fierce?
Any Chapel Roan.
Oh, okay. So don't judge me. Grammys was the first time I ever heard her, and my sister judged me.
Wow.
Whenever I'm sad now, I listen to Pink Pony Club.
Yes.
Yeah, like-
but I'm excited for you because there's so much.
That's what my
to
sister
explore.
said. I know. I have been. You can send me more. But I
Okay.
have been. What are you making sure is in your bag today?
Ooh, moisturizer, always.
You gave me hand cream
Yes,
earlier. I
got those
needed
little
it.
crevices in your hands.
Yes. A scent or smell that instantly makes you feel like you.
Mango.
Ooh.
Anything tropical. I have to smell like a fruit. You have to want
Mango's
to eat
my
me.
favorite fruit.
Yeah.
I love that. The most surprising thing people learn when they meet you.
That I am probably the black cat of my relationship. People perceive me as the golden retriever, but I'm the black cat.
Maybe because your girlfriend's such a golden retriever.
Maybe.
Okay, favorite line or phrase from We Don't Make Ourselves Smaller Here?
I should have prepared this beforehand, shouldn't I? I mean, the one that's coming to mind is something like the amount of apologies that leave the lips of women every day of their lives is a testament to how much shame we've been taught to carry.
Sheesh.
That's not even
but that's
it.
a bar,
That was
so it's okay. that was a secret limited edition, okay?
Wait, no, what's yours?
Okay, wait, I have to tell you mine.
Okay.
I don't know it by heart. It's not like I wrote the book. It's me and her holding on to the piece that we've worked so hard for. That's the new non-negotiable.
Me and my body.
I loved that. And for me, it was deeper than just my body. It's like me and myself are on this journey right now. And I've made this agreement. It's our piece above anything else.
Yeah.
Anything that's not bringing us peace, be gone.
Facts.
What's a boundary you set recently that felt like an act of self-love? I love a good boundary.
Was this really hard? I mean, I've unfollowed some people.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's an important boundary.
I agree. Oh, no, you know what? No. You know what I did? I refused to make small talk at an event with someone who has caused me harm and yet pretends to be my friend.
Love that. See, that's that quote I just said. You chose your piece. What's something you used to shrink yourself over that you now lean into unapologetically?
Saying no or like asking for more details, just generally asking questions and, not just going with the flow of what anybody else wants, or just keeping it casual and cute and like, oh, I'm a cool girl. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm anxious.
Yes.
I need details.
I'm stressed.
I need to know things.
Yes.
And that I'm accepting that.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so every guest I have on the show, they have to sign my confidence book. I'm going to have you write a mantra, a quote, something inspirational for you to remember, me to remember, for our viewers.
You are the only person you will be with for your entire life. Be on your own side.
That just gave me goosebumps. I love that.
This is something I've had to tell myself again and again, because I think so often we hollow ourselves out to accommodate the opinions of everyone else as if they know us better than we know ourselves.
Yeah.
Nah, I've been with me from the start. I will be with me every day. I'll go to bed at night with myself first and foremost. So you're damn right I'm going to be on my side.
I love that. I always say the most important relationship is the one we have with ourselves. It's the only one that is
guaranteed
there from beginning. Yes. I love that. 100%. So good. Thank you so much for being here, for being so open and vulnerable. This was such an important discussion. Like, imagine our younger selves watching two women like us talk about our bodies and our lives and choosing to rebel and go against what's been set for us. Like, woo, I love that.
Powerful. Also, thank you, because you genuinely create the environment for this to be possible. And you are so good at this. You are meant to do this.
Thank you so much. That's so nice. That's really nice. I really appreciate that. I don't know why I'm like getting shy. That just meant so much to me. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. Before I start crying, that's a wrap on another episode of The Confidence Hour, our home now. I love this space so much, and I'm so glad I get to share it with you guys. If this conversation made you feel seen, heard, or even a little bit more confident, please tag, share, like, comment, all the things. It could really impact someone else if you share it with them. So make sure you do that as well. And just a reminder, like always, confidence isn't about perfection. It's about showing up anyway. I believe in you. I believe in us. We're going to keep killing it. I already know that. And I'll see you next time. Stay bold, stay grounded, and stay you. Bye.